Tonight on CTV News at 5, the latest on the tariff talks between Canada and the U.S., what the trade war could mean for local jobs and businesses. Plus, the races to watch in this municipal election. A local expert weighs in on the cities that could see a change in leaders as the field is set for October. And it's almost time for kids to go back to school. We get tips from a health expert about staying healthy and safe this fall. CTV News at 5 starts right now. Good afternoon and thank you for joining us. First at 5, Canadians are bracing for a lengthy trade war with the U.S. following the breakdown of negotiations between the two sides. 50% U.S. tariffs are now in effect on a variety of Canadian goods. Now President Donald Trump is threatening to increase tariffs on cars, trucks and steel to 50% on New Year's Day. It has Waterloo Region workers worried, considering 18% of the region's employment is in advanced manufacturing. And while the Waterloo Economic Development Corporation CEO notes that we've been here before, he says the latest round of tariffs leaves tens of thousands of jobs in the region tariff exposed.
We're talking about roughly, 350,000. So 1/5 of that would be in the 60 or 70,000 trade, category, 60 or 70,000 jobs potentially trade exposed. And that includes the steel, aluminum tariffs.
CTV's Spencer Turcott will bring us a closer look at the local impacts tonight at 6. And we're getting more insight from both sides on why the negotiations failed, leading to the U.S. imposing 50% tariffs. U.S. Trade Representative Jamieson Greer acknowledged the Canadian wish list for the auto sector, but said the United States wasn't willing to go as far as Canada wanted. While Prime Minister Mark Carney says Canada could not accept what the U.S. asked for in trade talks. Now Ontario Premier Doug Ford warns Canada should be ready to cut off electricity and critical minerals to the U.S. if the trade fight escalates, and used some colorful language directed at President Trump.
Well, he can kiss my ass as far as I'm concerned. We're going to go at him full steam. And we buy 400% more cars than anyone in the world.
Ford says everything is on the table. All right, time to talk about the weather a little bit, Ashley, and you brought the rain.
I did not bring the rain. Colt and I brought the cold temperatures today. It was more October-like this morning than August-like. I don't know about you, but I needed a jacket when I left for work this morning.
I'm a sweaty person, so it was fine, but it was just daunting to come outside to that.
Oh, it was, and it's a bit of a shock to the system, but the good news is summer isn't over yet. We are going to see a little bit more sunshine this week, but first, we've got to get through some more spotty showers.
Okay, fine.
Let's take a look at our radar. You can see lots of activity around the region this hour. You're seeing pop-up showers here and there. We are going to continue to see pop-up showers, some light rain throughout the next few hours, but it's shaping up to be a clear Tuesday. More on that a little later, but right now, 20 degrees out there. That was our daytime high, so we did not really get too warm today. A westerly wind at 33 kilometers an hour is also helping keep the region cool. And as we take a look at temperatures around the region, you can see not very warm. Considering we are still in August, seeing those teens a little scary. Let's take a look outside from St. Jacobs this hour, though, because although it is a little cooler, you just got to bundle up a bit more and get out and enjoy some of our beautiful spots like here in St. Jacobs.
Hey, it looks lovely. Thank you, Ashley. And here's what you need to know. Endless Summer is taking over Victoria Park in Kitchener September 5th. It's a family-friendly concert that's free to attend. Happening in the afternoon from 2 until 11. Head online to check out the full schedule. More news ahead. Stay with us. Well, millions of Ukrainians are marking Ukrainian Independence Day. Here in Waterloo Region, celebrations also serve as a stark reminder of Russia's ongoing war with Ukraine. On Sunday, dozens of community members raised the Ukrainian flag and paid tribute to the lives lost in the war. The day of celebration was also a day of remembrance and realization about a future of uncertainty. CTV's Alexandra Hollick will have more on this coming up at 6. The Kitchener Market is preparing to expand its operations next month as recovery efforts continue following a July fire. City Council will vote tonight on a proposal to cut rent fees in half for vendors while remediation works to repair smoke and soot damage throughout the main building. Starting September 5th, temporary infrastructure, including new power and plumbing, will allow more than 30 additional vendors to return in an expanded interim format, bringing back meat and dairy options.
A small electrical fire that happened in one of the vendor booths, but the impact from the smoke and soot damage from the fire itself went throughout the whole facility. We're talking 40 feet in the air all the way up to our ceiling. So the majority of the inside of our facility will have to be cleaned and remediated.
At 6, CTV's Heather Centerin hears from a vendor. The field is set for the 2026 municipal election, 49 races across the region of Waterloo. A local expert in politics says the race for mayor of Kitchener may be the least eventful, while the Cambridge and Waterloo races are two he's keeping an eye on. Jeff Pickle will have more on the experts' thoughts about the October 26th election at 6. A Waterloo homeowner is upset after video shows a delivery driver writing on his home. Jeff Owen says there isn't a number displayed on the house, but it's never been an issue. Surveillance video shows the driver walking back to write the number on the home in permanent marker. Now Owen wants someone to take accountability.
You need to fill out forms and that, which we had done. We downloaded the footage and we were denied, and then we escalated, and then we were denied again. And we were very frustrated because Amazon said the third party was responsible, and the phone number we were given was a number from China, which didn't exist.
CTV's Karis Mapp hears from Amazon at 6. Well, the summertime has already flown by, and it's almost time for kids to go back to school. Joining us today is Dr. Matthew Tenenbaum from Wellington Dufferin Guelph Public Health to talk a little bit about staying safe for those kids heading back to school. Thank you for joining me, Doctor.
Thank you very much for having me today.
Well, let's talk about staying safe to and from school just to start. What are some of the tips that kids need to know when it's coming to walking to school, and tips for drivers heading to those schools?
Absolutely. So walking or biking or taking another mode of rapid or active transit to school is a great way to kind of keep active as we get into the warmest, nicest potential parts of the fall ahead. But obviously it's important to stay safe while doing so. So one thing you can do is just make sure you really plan thoughtfully, map out in advance a safe walking or biking route to school. Make sure you know where you're going. Make sure you have sort of an awareness of the level and degree of traffic around you, taking quieter streets, crossing streets safely. Those can all be really key things to do, and make sure you give yourself lots of time if you're walking to school. Don't feel rushed, because that's when accidents can happen and we may not be paying full attention to our surroundings.
Now, once we head back to school, it's really that time where people are kind of gathered all together again indoors, and then we head into the winter and we're spending time indoors. What are some of the things we need to know to protect against illnesses while we're at school?
So we're not quite in the fall surge yet of the kind of things we usually see later on in the fall and winter, but even as we get into back to school, it wouldn't surprise me if we saw more things like colds or stomach bugs or things like pink eye or other things which are kind of the common childhood illnesses, things that typically crop up and become more common when children spend time together. Spending time together is wonderful, but we do see these things come up in the fall as people return to school. So it is really important for students and their families to keep an eye on how they're feeling. Ideally, stay home and limit your contact with others if you're not feeling well, to avoid passing some of these things on to others.
Speaking of passing things on to others, there's some allergies that people can have, and something we need to be aware about at school. What should we do?
So it is worth being aware. I guess I'll take two lenses on this. One is if you or your child have a significant allergy. The second thing is if you are just trying to be conscientious of others. So obviously, if your child or you yourself as a student have a significant allergy, it is really important to have a plan in place with your school. Make sure that the teacher of your classroom and other key staff in your school, like your principal, know about that significant allergy, have an EpiPen and sort of an allergy response plan in place that makes sense. Make sure it's never a surprise or a secret what the allergy is, so that people around who might recognize a significant allergy know what's going on and know how to respond. So the key thing is just being prepared and making sure that the school knows and there's a plan in place. Obviously, for those who aren't affected in the same way by allergies, it is still really great to be conscientious of, the needs of others around you. So avoiding things like peanut-containing foods that the school may have policies against, and just be mindful of the fact that people have different experiences when it comes to allergies, and trying to be conscientious on what you bring can be a good way to keep them safe.
You mentioned being prepared. You know, we've seen in past years kids not or getting suspended for having their vaccine records not up to date. How important is it to get those up to date for the school year?
So it is really important, not just because the vaccines themselves are wonderful at reducing a child's or student's risk of a really significant illness, but also because, as you mentioned, many of them, there is a set of requirements in place about either having vaccines or having records of public health in place that we know who's immunized and who isn't. You might recall last year we had a really significant outbreak of measles in our region, as well as other parts of the province. And by knowing who in schools across students was immunized against measles and who wasn't, that helped us keep everyone safe whenever we had a case of measles in the school. That's the reason why there are these requirements to have records for these vaccines with public health. So please, if you or your child's student are not up to date, now is a great time to get up to date. Please make sure that you have records submitted to public health. We are in the process of sending out reminders to families wherever there are not records that we have that we need to have. We don't want any student to be suspended from school, so we do give lots of reminders and lots of warnings. But if you know that your records are not up to date with us, please reach out to us and make sure that we have them well in advance.
Well, that's all important information. Well, thank you so much for joining me, Dr. Tannenbaum. That's Dr. Tannenbaum with Wellington Dufferin Guelph Public Health.
Thank you very much.
Well, still ahead on CTV News at 5, a local father in the middle of a 6-week journey.
The empty wheelchair represents everything that has been taken from her, and as her father, I will take the torch up and fight on her behalf.
The man walking to Queen's Park and raising money for his daughter's life-saving neurosurgery. And here's what you need to know. Are you a music lover? It's Guess That Tune Trivia at Forefathers Brewing Co. tomorrow night. The fun is free to play, but your team must remain 6 people or less. CTV News at 5 continues after this short break. It's time to talk about the weather again, and we said, Ashley, it's been a lot different than the past couple of days.
It has. It felt almost like I should be getting ready for Halloween today rather than back to school stuff. I mean, it was super chilly this morning by comparison to what we have felt over the last few weeks. I don't think in October anybody's going to complain about a 20-degree day potentially, though.
If you had to choose right now, what would you be for Halloween?
Oh, my word, on the spot. I don't know. I like to go classics and probably something out of Jurassic Park.
Like a dinosaur?
Maybe a dinosaur.
That'd be fun.
Maybe Ellie. If you know, you know.
All right, let's talk about the weather.
Let's talk about the weather. It's going to be a beautiful evening out there. Of course, we might see a spotted shower here and there, so if you are leaving the house, make sure to have an umbrella, maybe a poncho with you, because you could get caught in it. But as you can see from St. Jacobs this evening, it's pretty beautiful out there at the moment. You will want a light sweater or a jacket, though, tonight, because it is just slightly cooler than what we've experienced over the last few days. And as we take a look at our futurecast, we're still in the midst of a system that's bringing with it those consistent showers. That's going to start tapering off over the next few hours, and we will still see a spotted shower here and there overnight, but things starting to clear up by early Tuesday morning and will continue to be clear throughout the afternoon. So we are seeing a potentially sunny day for your Tuesday and into Wednesday, but Wednesday looks like it will be a little bit more cloudy. Right now on the West Coast, though, a pretty nice day. 22 in Prince George, Vancouver, sunny conditions, and 23 on the other side of the Rockies, 23 for Edmonton and Calgary with a mix of sun and cloud. And as we push further east through the prairie provinces, a little bit cooler in Saskatoon today, 19 with a bit of rain. Yellowknife, though, sitting pretty with a mix of sun and cloud in 17. Winnipeg, warm and 26 with that sunshine moving through Ontario towards Quebec. We're seeing cooler temperatures continue. A bit of rain still in Ottawa and Toronto. Quebec, a little bit more sunny, but still 23 for Quebec City and 19 in Montreal. And on the East Coast, 22 in St. John's, a little warmer there. A nice day in Fredericton and Charlottetown with a mix of sun and cloud and 25 degrees. Here locally, we're sitting at 19 degrees, so temperatures actually falling over the last couple of minutes ever so slightly. Tonight, we're looking at an overnight low of 14 degrees, so that's right where we should be for this time of year. A northwest wind of 20 kilometers an hour is expected. Now, tomorrow, things shape up a little bit nicer. 23, the expected daytime high. mainly sunny conditions, and we will see a UV index of around 7. Now, that is considered high, so make sure you're being sun safe out there. A hat, sunglasses, and of course, some sunscreen. And here's a look at your almanac. Back in 1948, 35.6 was our record daytime high. We are nowhere near that today at 20 degrees, but overnight is exactly where we should be. 12 degrees is our normal. We're going to be around 14. Record set back in 1971 at 2.2. So much warmer than that. And here's your first look at 5 forecast for Waterloo Region. As mentioned, Wednesday looks like it will be a little cloudy, 25, and then rain looks like it could be back on the way for Thursday and Friday, 24 for Thursday and 22 for Friday. So Colton, get your sunscreen ready because tomorrow is going to be a nicer day out.
Wonderful. Looking forward to those temperatures to get back to summer. Thank you, Ashley. A London man is pushing an empty wheelchair all the way to Queen's Park, raising awareness for a spinal surgery his daughter needs, a procedure he says is not covered by OHIP. CTV's Jeff Pickle has their story.
For the last 2 weeks, Joe Gaswaldi of London has done a lot of walking.
Getting my steps in.
Hey, no kidding. Walking and waving and talking.
Love it, love it, love it. We appreciate you guys.
On Sunday in Paris, Joe was speaking to anyone he can about his daughter Sydney and her heartbreaking story.
So Sydney was 24 years old and graduated from McMaster University and had just started her own business, and at the age of 24 was rear-ended in a collision and suffered severe catastrophic neck injury.
Since the crash, Sydney's had complications, leaving her neck and her life in a vulnerable position.
The net result is that Sydney is unable to walk, unable to bathe, unable to feed herself, and requires our constant attention 24/7.
According to Gaswaldi, the quest to get the surgery done in Ontario has been frustrating.
And we were rejected by 10 neurosurgeons in London, Ontario, and the GTA. And we were left with no treatment options.
The Gaswaldis found a doctor in New York who can do the surgery, but at the cost of over $500,000 in out-of-pocket expenses.
Dozens of Canadians who have had the cranial cervical fusion and restored functionality back to people like Sydney.
Now, Joe, along with his wife Kim as spotter, are spending their weekends walking to Queen's Park.
The empty wheelchair represents everything that has been taken from her, and as her father, I will take the torch up and fight on her behalf.
Hoping to fundraise the money needed for their daughter and create the policy changes needed for others in the future.
The policy fix will not occur in time to help Sydney, so I've had to take this on to get her immediate attention, medical attention, and the surgery in New York, because the policy will not change in time to help Sydney.
The Miles for a Miracle walk is expected to arrive in Queen's Park September 16th, and they have a GoFundMe page to raise money for Sydney's procedure. Jeff Pickle, CTV News, Paris.
Well, still ahead on CTV News at 5, the 40-year legacy impacting Guelph and Wellington County. A major milestone for a golf tournament supporting a Canadian Cancer Society program that helps patients get to needed appointments to receive care. And here's what you need to know. An evening with Celtic Thunder is coming to Centre in the Square, taking place the night of Saturday, September 5th at 8. Grab your tickets online while you still can. CTV News at 5 continues in 2 minutes.
Has moved up the dial to 105.3. Wake up with Angie and Sarge. The music you just can't quit. Now on KW's Bounce 105.3.
In tonight's Digital Dive, Waterloo Regional Police are looking for a hit-and-run driver who left the scene after hitting an 8-year-old on a bicycle. Police say it happened on the grass near Parkvale Drive and Bianca Court in Kitchener on Wednesday. For more on this, our online team has you covered. Just scan the QR code in the corner of your screen or go to CTV News, kitchener.ca. And time now to take a look at our final 5 stories we're following today. Dozens of wildfires are still burning in northern Ontario. The Ministry of Natural Resources says as of 7 last night, there were 63 active blazes in the northwest region, 6 not under control. 1 new fire was confirmed and was not contained. In the northeast, no new blazes were confirmed as of 6 last night. There's a total of 42 active fires, 1 being held, 2 under control. The remaining 39 being observed. Voting on a new contract for WestJet flight attendants wraps up this afternoon. Flight attendants have had a week to vote on whether to accept or reject the deal. The Canadian Union of Public Employees says the tentative agreement includes a wage hike of more than 18% over 3 years, as well as new compensation for work done on the ground. A tractor-trailer crash bringing traffic to a halt on Highway 6 near Freelton today. Ontario Provincial Police saying a truck carrying steel hit a construction barrier in the northbound lanes this morning. Diesel fuel spilled across the road and into a nearby ditch. The highway is expected to remain closed until at least 7. 2 Wilfrid Laurier Golden Hawks getting mentions on the preseason edition of the Canadian Football League's prospects list. Wide receiver Ryan Hughes came in ranked 17th. The 4th year from Mississauga was one of only 2 receivers included in the preseason rankings. Meanwhile, linebacker Jesse Wilkins-Flaherty received an honorable mention. The 4th-year music major from Windsor was named a U Sports All-Canadian last season, and former Laurier quarterback Cal Wither also received an honorable mention. Laurier opens its regular season this Saturday at home against the University of Guelph. And finally for us, the Wheels of Hope Golf Classic celebrating its 40th anniversary at Cutton Fields Golf Club in Guelph today. Originally started by members of the golf club who recognized a need for transportation support in their community. The event has raised approximately $2.7 million in support of the Canadian Cancer Society's Wheels of Hope transportation program in Guelph and Wellington County, helping people access cancer-related appointments. Well, that's our time. Thanks so much for watching. We'll have more local news coverage coming up at 6 o'clock. But first, here's CTV National News.